Welcome to Theo's Pod with Theo.
What's up, guys? Thank you for checking out another episode of Chewin The Rag. This is going to be another solo episode. I haven't really had time to book anybody. I have guests lined up. I just have to figure out a day that works for both them and myself. I have a big renovation project going on in my house, so it's hard for me to get on the same page as other people. But the good news is it'll lead to this being gone. It's a whole studio thing I have going on, but it's a lot of work. So my schedule is going to be a little bit weirder, which means I have to be more compromising to guests. But I think we'll be back to having guests next week, so shouldn't be too bad. It'll most likely be Zoom until I get that done, just because if you watch the episode with Vinny, it was a little weird. It was the first time doing it in person for this podcast, not Dangerously Average Dudes. So, figuring that out and getting the kinks worked out and everything, that's going to be just something I have to do. And I think it's just going to be easier with the space downstairs in that studio area. So, appreciate you guys checking this out. Like I said, this is probably just going to be an update episode. We'll talk a little bit, but other than that, we'll just back to regular scheduled programming next week. Before we get into it, as always, I do want to talk about Serenity Landscaping Services. As the weather warms up here, we are getting into, I say weather warms up, it's 60 degrees to 80 degrees, back down to 40 or whatever it was today, but weather should steady out soon. Definitely check out Serenity Landscaping Services for all your landscaping needs. They do big spring cleanups, little, if you just need your lawn mowed, and projects everywhere in between that. So what you're going to want to do is give them a call at 518-331-0774 and let them know that Chris from Chewin The Rag sent you. That's 518-331-0774 and let them know that Chris from Chewin The Rag sent you. And if you do like the podcast and you want to support it, easiest way to do that is to subscribe, to rate it, to like it on Facebook, follow it on Instagram, follow it on Twitter. It's really my personal Twitter, but you can still follow me there. I do post clips and everything. Like, subscribe, rate, share, whatever, everything, all that helps the podcast, and it's free. If you do like it and support it, just do that. We're on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, YouTube, all of that. All right, let's get into it. A couple of updates. First and foremost, I put up a poll on Instagram not too long ago, and I said, do people still like stickers, or is that just a me thing because of skateboard culture? I talked about skateboarding with Vinny a little bit and Mark. It's always been a part of the culture that I've been around. So stickers were always a part of that. I always hung on to that. If you have stickers, send them to me. I'll put them somewhere. I'll actually probably, when I go into the studio, got a big table that I'm working on, I'll probably just sticker bomb the shit out of that. So if you got them, you let me know. But I like stickers a lot, so I ordered some. People on Instagram said they liked them. They're free. You just let me know you want one. I'll send it to you. I'll give it to you, whatever it is. Threw one on my phone. It's just the logo. I went with the yellow. It's, something light, something easy. Again, thank you to Gren for hooking me up with that logo. They actually just got stickers too. So Gren Nyquist, I believe. Let me just look because they deserve a shout out. Yeah, so GrenNyqvist on Facebook. I think they put all their pages and links throughout Facebook all the time, so definitely check them out. They hooked up the artwork, and now I got a little bit of stickers. And if you need anything, hit them up. They do really good work and really fast turnaround time, so I appreciate them. So the last episode we did was supposed to just be Minutes with Mello. We ended up doing, I'm going to try not to have, let me just cut myself off there, because I don't want people to think okay, he's just going to have the same rotation of guests all the time. I'm trying not to bring in people too close to their original episodes. So like Mello, the plan was always reoccurring guests. I've said it since his first episode. I announced it before his episode. He was always going to come on, and it was supposed to just be like a segment, but we I don't know, we just got into it, and it was a lot of fun. It was different than what we typically do here. You know, I always try to just do like an interview and spotlight things, but people sent in questions and we answered them, and one thing led to another, and it went from a 20 to 30-minute segment to an hour long bullshit conversation, which is fun. It was fun, but definitely like I definitely appreciate everybody who reached out in regard to that. And like I said, I'm going to have people on more than once for sure, but the goal is not to have them on within like the first 12 episodes, like back to back like that. He was just, like I said, it was just something that kind of happened. It sprung up, and it was a lot of fun though. And I do appreciate conversations with him. I appreciate conversations with all these guys. You know, Dark Horse Six. Me and him had the longest episode so far, and easily could have kept going. Easily, like even when he went live and we were talking about it, definitely could have kept going. Probably 5 more hours. We were just on his live talking, and it, it felt like another episode. So that was a lot of fun. We're gonna have I'm weird, you know, weird. Like it's me and my fucking split personality. I'm gonna have John Dorn of Concrete on. They're wrapping up in the studio, and he's also, you know, he has Intrusive, he has Concrete, and he's just a friend of mine. He's gonna be on here once they wrap up. You know, Lenny came on as they started entering the studio, so I think it'll be fun to get another person's point of view from recording and how they do it, and bring him on here. So I'm looking forward to that. This episode, if you're listening to this Thursday morning, that means I stayed up and I shouldn't have, because I already anticipated this coming out late. So if I have this out Thursday morning, I'm a champ, because I definitely don't plan on it. So I'm gonna apologize for the delay in advance, just because that's the plan. If this doesn't get delayed, then I woke up very tired the next day, which is fine. I've been waking up tired anyway. I've been watching Beef, which fucking shows nowadays, dude. They just know the way these shows end. Each episode is fucking perfect because you have to keep watching it. Like they know we're in a binge state right now. Everybody binges when they watch shows and everything. So literally, Beef did it perfectly with like cliffhangers at the end of every single episode. It was like, son of a bitch. So, and I also like what they did, because they went back to like the half hour to like 40-minute time. Like every other show now is like an hour to an hour and a half. And no, no. Now, granted, if they did that, they would only really probably have a handful of episodes, which would have been fine. But them doing the half hour with the cliffhanger made it so easy to just fly through that and binge. So more on what I was talking about earlier. So I'm probably gonna post like before and after and update everybody on it, just because, you know, I'm mentioning it here. But ever since like Dangerously Average Dudes, which I don't know if anybody, you know, peeps those, they're still up. I never took them down, but I always talked about like this vision of going into the basement of my house and flipping it from like what it is to a studio. And after, you know, going solo, starting this, knowing I'm gonna like do like a guest based thing, I was like, I have to start really like considering getting that space done. So I just went down, I muscled it, got a couple friends, hit it hard, got it all cleaned out, and now I'm just at the point where, you know, I can see the floor, I have everything, I like have the ideas mapped out. There's some water down there, but I'm gonna take care of that. And going from, I wish I took better like before pictures and videos, because like I don't think it really does it justice as to how fucking wrecked that basement really was. It was just years of build up from, you know, past like clothing and decorations and a bunch of shit from like not even just this family, but like my wife's family had like decorations and shit down there. So it was definitely a lot. And I don't think we're gonna do a full finish. I still want that basement feel, you know, throw floor down for sure, maybe like drop tile, like a drop ceiling, but like I still want those concrete walls. Like I like that feel of the basement. And when I tell people like, come over, it's like, hey, come record a pod. We'll go to the basement. Like I want that basement feel still. Not that basement smell for sure, but definitely that basement feel. Those concrete walls, it's like a rec yard. You never know what's gonna happen. I might stab somebody. I might just do it, dude. I'll definitely do like not like a vlog, but for sure like a before and after. Do like a tour, and you'll definitely see. It's gonna be a completely different feel. I'm hoping. Um, different camera setup. I'll be able to like angle that more. I talked about it in the intro to this episode, but like mine and Vinny, our episode, it was really weird. We were kind of in and out of frame a lot. Still a lot of fun, and I think he enjoyed it, and I definitely enjoyed it, and I appreciated him even coming on. But it was weird for sure for the video listeners or watchers, whatever you want to call it, to look at that. They're probably like, "That's not the best setup." It definitely wasn't. I was probably better off removing the divider, which, in hindsight, whatever, moving the divider, I mean, him just kicking it on the couch probably would have looked a little bit cleaner. But like I said, I DIY. I'm by myself, just figuring this shit out. I book everybody, set everything up, edit everything, record everything. So, and this is something that me and Chris, Dark Horse, on his stream, because he streams on, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook gaming. He's into Facebook gaming now. He streams everywhere, and on his stream, he was talking about like, because when he does things, he does them live. Like if I screw this up, I just don't have to share this, and I could say, oh well, episode's delayed, I'm scrapping it, whatever. Excuse me. He hiccups live, and it's like I hiccup live. So like it's not like I didn't see mine and mine and Vinny's video, our episode, and notice like what looked off and what didn't. It's just didn't I can't say I don't care because I said it with Mello. I'll scrap a whole episode if I just don't like it and I feel like I wasn't at my best. I'll delete the whole thing and nobody will ever know it existed. But I didn't care enough to be like, sorry, Benny, that episode just can't happen. Because first of all, he showed up, he did his job, we talked, and it was still fun. It was funny. It just wasn't the best to look at. But at the same time, I feel like a lot of people don't really care about that. I don't know how many of my listeners really watch because it's just kind of like a single cam. I'm not really doing anything. I might show like stickers, but you can go on the podcast like Instagram. We are on Discord too, which is where I announce everything. But like you can go anywhere to see those. You don't really need the YouTube. Like a fucking 90-year-old. You don't really need to go on YouTube. And I don't know how many people actually are on YouTube and watching or just playing it in the background. But that was my main thing is like the next time somebody comes here, I want it to look better. Plus, I don't even know if it was the most comfortable setting for Vinny. We were kind of crammed. The new space will have it's like 7 feet long. So it'll be interesting to, and then like I said, like sticker bomb and everything. So it'll be interesting to see the new setup, how the camera's gonna pick everything up, how it's gonna work out with me and a guest, and that's another reason why I wouldn't scrap Vinny's episode, even if I didn't, even if I was going to, which I never even thought about it, never would. It was fun. Um, I want to be able to like show the contrast of maybe it'll even be him coming back on. I know he mentioned on that episode that Wrong Move was going to record some songs, so maybe it would be him hopping on, and then he and I can both see like, look at how different this is. This is insane, and see the growth. But like, that's all this is. This is just me figuring it out, and you guys kind of coming along for the ride. And I appreciate anybody who does. And if you don't stick around, it's all good. I can't expect you to. I can't force anybody to come listen to me talk, but I appreciate the ones that do, and I definitely appreciate like fans aside, dude, or listeners. I don't like using the word fans, but like the guests that come on, like I appreciate those guys more than they even know, because I really don't do great with these solo ones. That's why they're always short, because I run out of things to talk about. I do better like interviewing and getting people to talk about themselves and bouncing off people and doing like that. But sometimes things come up, and instead of skipping an episode, my goal is to not skip. I might delay, but my goal is to not skip an episode. Um, I would rather come on here, kind of ramble, update you guys on my life, and you guys know, like, okay, still doing this, even if you don't play the full thing through, even if it's not an hour long. I would rather do that than not have an episode up at all. But I definitely appreciate these guys that take their time to spend an hour with me, because I wouldn't be able to. No way. I'm not one of those guys that can just sit here and talk to himself for an hour. I'm trying to get a few different guests on that I don't want to really tease or talk about, because I don't really know if those guys are going to make it on, or those people are going to make it on. But I have some ideas in my head for sure. And then I have some that'll definitely be on. I just don't know when. But I'll definitely have one next week. I'm not really gonna tease it because I have to, you know. So essentially, what happens? I'll inside baseball, boring stuff. Essentially, what happens is I open up Facebook or Instagram or whatever it might be. I message people or bands or friends of mine, just anybody who interests me, does something that's worth promoting. Uh, I hit them up. They confirm, like, yes, I'd be interested. I then add them to a list. And then after I record with one person, I follow up with, those people that I've reached out to. And I'm like, hey, can you record this day? Can you record this day? Can you record this? And it's just, that's how I do it. And doing that by myself makes it, I can't tease the next episode immediately. I would love to be like, all right, next week we have this. That only really happens if I front load and I record 2 in the same week and then edit them, ready, scheduled. Then I can be like, okay, cool. Next week we have this. So I really can't tease anything, but I've got some more musicians for sure. I'm hoping. I think I talked about this before. I'm hoping Crawford. I don't know if I talked about it. I don't want to bring it up if I didn't. Crawford, I'm not going to say who he is, where he's from, his first name, sport he played. I'm not going to do any of that. I'm hoping I can schedule his soon. I want to get a couple stand-ups for sure. An MMA guy for sure. Like things that I've talked about in my past, that's who I want to bring on. People that I met in those communities who do them better than I did, or at least stuck with them. But I definitely want to get some sort of stand-up, some sort of MMA guy. Just people who were in that in the communities in which I was. I also would like to get like tattoo artists. I have one in mind that I want to talk to and pick their brain for an hour, just because they have a cool backstory as well. It's not the person who did mine. Shout out Dan Belcher. He does all mine. But this person that I'm alluding to has a pretty cool backstory. They have a get up off your feet, figure out your future. Just a story that I think will hit home for a lot of people, and they're doing really well with their tattoos. So I think he'll be a good person to get on. What else? The goal. I don't even want to talk about like live stuff, but I would like to do something live. Speaking of live, so I've talked about music, and I believe I said it either one of my solos or with Vinny, that like there's only one person that even remembers like my music, my band or whatever. And it's so funny because they're like, we're going on 10 years since I've played, or like since I've done vocals or any of that. And they're like, oh, dude, you got to come, you got to get a reunion going. Come on, play a show. And I'm like, dude, I don't even think I have like the energy to do like a hardcore, like anything right now. I'm so monotone and like laid back. I'm sure if I stretched, I'm sure if I got a good stretch in, I'm sure if I got up, grabbed the mic, wrote some lyrics, hyped myself up, I could get back into that wave. But it's so funny to even like picture it. It's the same thing with stand up, and I'm not even that far removed from when I did stand up last. Like 10 years is a pretty decent amount of time to just go without doing any of that type of shit. Stand up's only a few years, but I can't imagine writing jokes, getting on stage, and like performing again. I'd feel like that same feel when you first hit an open mic for the first time. So I don't know. As far as like live, I would like to do. All right, I'll just. So what I would like to do with this, and I don't know how to even do it, but like I would like to do just me, my setup, another like a stool or something. I would love to have a bunch of people in the room, kind of bullshit, almost like a stand up thing, just kind of riff and like have them come up and do like a quick on the spot interview. It'd mostly be people I know, obviously, so I can have that like level of comfort because there's people who I think would have a good conversation with me, but they don't necessarily have anything to promote. That would be something that would be cool for like a live thing because then you get some crowd like interaction. Me and this person can bounce off each other. It'd be funny. We could do crowd work. Everybody in the room will probably know both of us. So, and then, that person goes and I bring up somebody who maybe I don't have the best rapport with, but they have something to promote and then do it like that. And just do like an hour thing, just hour and a half. Maybe it'll probably run over because, like I said, I would have more than just an hour is going to fly by if I'm doing like crowd work and blah, 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 blah. So the goal, I would say within the next year is to at least do one live guy with a bunch of people, bunch of friends. So I'll announce it. I don't have anything planned. I don't even know how to do it. Like I'm an idiot, so I would need a lot of help. Um, it's just long-term goal. I hinted at it before with Ray Hughes, my co-host for Dangerously Average, which is probably done by now, I would say. But I alluded to it with him. I was like, oh, we're probably not gonna have guests, but maybe we'll do something live. Like it was always in my head that we would do at least one, and I don't think that goal has changed. I think the format has changed. Um, but like I don't have like a vision board or like I'm not gonna manifest. I don't write things down, but I for sure somewhere in the back of this noggin have like a one-off live show has to be done, and I have an idea for like location and whatnot. Um, the city, I'll tell you right now, it's got to be Cohoes. It's got everything. Everything goes through Cohoes. 100%, it would have to be there. I don't think it would be at Magoo's, which, if you know me, that's where like I had comedy. Can't even think of the word. Monthly comedy show, pretty much at Magoo's and Cohoes, which I liked, and they were really good to me. I just don't know if that'd be like the best atmosphere for this. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm wrong, but I mean, also in a year from now, who knows what Cohoes is even gonna look like? Um, Not to get like political, but I know somebody that I know is running for mayor of Cohoes. It's Ed Kenner. I'm not gonna talk about what he is doing, what he wants to do, his plans, his ideas, what he talks about. Just go on Facebook, go to Ed Kenner for mayor of Cohoes. I think it is. I'll just look because I don't want to be wrong. What do we got? Ed. Yeah, okay, I was right. Ed Kenner for mayor of Cohoes on Facebook. He shares what he's doing and everything else. I don't do politics. I can't. You know, everybody's got like a political opinion right now. You got these fucking dudes who are mad at beer cans and they don't even know really what they're mad at. They're mad at drag people who want to read stories. Like, dude, if you're so mad at that, just go volunteer to your fucking library. You go read a fucking story. No, you're not gonna do that. All right, then let fucking I don't even have the fake name to give right now. But let that person go read stories to your kids, dude. Who gives a fuck? I mean, people are just so ass backwards. I can't do it. I can't get into it. Can't talk about it. I'm so not political. I'm straight here, right here, because I got shit that I agree with on both sides. Like the closest I got to political was with Vinny. We were just making fun of people who hate rich people and don't understand. And it all started because I don't understand crypto, and even after talking to him, I understand it a little bit. I am gonna check that book out that he mentioned, um, but I don't get it. Still don't get it. He'll hook me up. He'll hook me up. We'll figure it out together. But this is literally, like I said, it's not really going to be a full episode. It's just I would rather update you guys as to why I don't have a guest, why the episode's short, what's going on. I would just rather not skip. That's it. I skipped a lot with the previous podcast. We bounced around. We were not riding the wave properly, and now we got a little wave here. And I'm not gonna miss out on that. I'm not gonna leave you guys hanging. People seem to be enjoying this. I'm getting DMs. I'm hoping it's translating to subscriptions and likes and rates and everything else. But I mean, I am getting DMs and people are hitting me up and they look forward to the episodes. And so I'm just going to ride that wave and appreciate you guys.